Amish gardening secrets, outsmarting the cold. Winter, the frost bites, the cold sets in, and for many, that's the end of gardening for the season. But not for the Amish. They know better. Cold weather doesn't stop them. It's just the beginning. They've got their ways, their tools, their methods. Methods passed down for generations. Raised beds, cold frames. Simple but effective. The Amish build these wooden boxes, stack them up, fill them with rich soil that's alive. Turn it over and it steams. That's when you know this soil's working. While others wait for spring, the Amish are already ahead. Their spinach is still green, carrots popping up through the mulch. And you wouldn't believe it unless you saw it yourself. But that's the power of old world gardening wisdom. It's not about gadgets or high-tech greenhouses. Nah, it's the basics. And the basics work. The heart of Amish gardening. Healthy soil. Soil. To the Amish, it's not just dirt. It's alive. It breathes. It works over time. It's a living thing. You can't just throw some seeds in and hope for the best. You've got to treat the soil like family. Every fall and winter, they feed it. Manure, veggie scraps, hay, core husks, eggs, whatever nature doesn't need anymore. They layer it up, turn it by hand. No machines, no shortcuts. The compost pile's working, heating up like fresh bread in the oven. And when it's time, they spread that warmth into the garden beds. It's like waking up the soil before the snow even melts. It's pure genius. That compost does more than just add nutrients. It warms the ground naturally, gives the seeds the boost they need. So while others are still waiting for spring, the Amish have their gardens ready to go. And that's something you can't buy. You've got to work for it. It's a rhythm, a system that works year after year. Old seeds, stronger plants, a lesson in patience. Now let's talk seeds. You won't find fancy plastic packets or expiration dates here. Nope. The Amish wrap their seeds in old newspaper. They keep heirloom varieties, seeds that have been passed down through the generations. Some of these seeds are older than your granddad's Chevy, but they've got history, and they've got toughness. Carrots that laugh at a frost. Potatoes that dig deep and don't quit. Every year, they plant the best seeds from last year's harvest. And each year, those seeds get a little tougher, a little stronger. It's evolution. Quiet, patient, done by hand. The Amish don't rush it. They know that growing takes time. And when those plants start sprouting, it's not just the food that's growing. It's the pride. The pride in something earned. Something made by hand. The Amish don't just grow food. They grow stories. And those stories, they grow stronger with each season. Catching every bit of light. Amish gardening efficiency. The Amish know how to make the most of what they've got. They don't have solar panels or LED grow lights. What they have is sunlight, and they use it all, smartly. They plant their rows from north to south, not east to west. Why? So every plant can catch light from sun up to sundown. Makes sense, right? Tall crops like corn go in the back, so they don't block the little ones. They'll even paint their fences white. Not for looks, but to reflect the sun right back into the garden. Simple, right? But it works. Add a few flat stones in the beds, and those rocks soak up warmth during the day, giving it back at night. Like a campfire without the fire. Every bit of sunlight is put to good use. Nothing's wasted. And when the ground is still frozen, when other gardens are struggling, the Amish gardens are thriving. Every single ray of light counts, and the Amish know that better than anyone. Planning and preparing through winter, the Amish way. Winter is not off-season, not for the Amish. For most people, when the frost hits, that's the end of the gardening year. But not for the Amish. Winter is prep season. They don't just sit around. They rotate crops. They cover. They preserve. They use cover crops like rye, clover, buckwheat. These aren't for eating. They're for feeding the land itself. Come spring, those crops go right back into the soil, turning to green gold. And while that's happening outside, inside the Amish are busy too. They're drying herbs, canning tomatoes, packing root cellars full of onions, turnips. They don't stop. They just change the pace. The rhythm of life doesn't pause when the snow falls. It just slows down. Seeds are sorted. Plans are drawn. Compost piles keep steaming. It's a full circle thing. Nothing goes to waste. And when spring comes, they're ready. Their gardens are ready. And that's why every year, their gardens come back stronger. No shortcuts, just hard work and patience. Understanding the soil's true power. Here's the thing. The Amish treat their soil like it's the heart of their farm. And they're not wrong. They know it's not just about planting seeds and waiting for them to grow. No. It's about working with the soil, not against it. They understand that the ground is alive, constantly shifting, breathing, reacting. So they care for it. They nurture it. After every harvest, they're adding layers of compost, manure, and natural scraps. They make sure the soil gets all the nutrients it needs to stay strong. And when the frost sets in, they don't abandon it. They're still working the land, turning compost piles, adding organic matter to keep it alive through the winter. You might think it's too cold to grow anything, but not if your soil is alive and breathing. And that's something most people overlook. It's a slow process, but it works. The Amish don't rush it. They let the soil do its thing, slowly, steadily. And when spring comes, their soil is ready to support the next generation of crops. It's this kind of patience, this long-term thinking that sets them apart. Building resilience, the Amish way of weathering the storm. The Amish have weathered many storms, not just literal ones. Over the years, they've endured droughts, harsh winters, and everything in between. But somehow, their gardens always thrive. That's because they've built resilience into their gardening methods. When everyone else is waiting for the weather to improve, the Amish are already prepared. They don't just focus on growing for one season. They're thinking long-term. They've figured out how to work with the weather, not against it. Cold weather? No problem. They've got their cold frames. Frost? It doesn't bother their carrots. Their methods are simple, but they've been honed over centuries. The Amish don't shy away from challenges. They embrace them. They adapt. And that's why their gardens not only survive the harshest conditions, they flourish in them. The lessons here are clear. It's about building a system that can weather the storms, no matter how harsh they may be. And maybe, just maybe, that's something we all need to take to heart in our own gardens. The simple magic of Amish gardening techniques. There's a certain magic to Amish gardening. It's not magic in the way you'd think. There are no spells, no tricks, just a deep understanding of how nature works. The Amish don't complicate things. They keep it simple, and in that simplicity, there's power. Raised beds, cold frames, mulch, heirloom seeds. They aren't using complicated systems or expensive equipment. They're using what they've always had: hands, soil, and the land. It's simple, but it's effective. They don't need technology to tell them when a plant or fancy gadgets to measure soil temperature. They know when the time is right. They've learned to read the signs, the way the wind blows, the angle of the sun, the feel of the soil beneath their fingers. That's the real magic. It's in the simplicity. It's in the connection with the earth. And maybe that's the secret we've forgotten. We've gotten so caught up in technology, we've forgotten how to listen to the land. The Amish haven't forgotten. They still listen. And that's why their gardens are always a step ahead. A year-round commitment to growth. One of the most profound aspects of Amish gardening is their commitment to the cycle of growth year-round. Winter isn't a time for rest. It's prep season. And during the harshest months, the Amish are planning, preserving, and turning over their compost piles, preparing for what's next. They understand that gardening isn't just a spring and summer activity. It's a year-round process. They grow cover crops in winter to protect and nourish the soil, ensuring it's ready for the next planting season. Inside, they're drying herbs, canning vegetables, and filling root cellars. It's a full-circle process where every part of the year has its role to play. And when spring rolls around, they're already ahead of the game. Their soil is warm, their compost is rich, and their seeds are ready to go. For them, gardening is a way of life. It's not something that starts in the spring and ends in the fall. It's a continual cycle. And that commitment to growth, to the earth, is what makes their gardens thrive. It's a reminder that gardening, like life, is about consistency, preparation, and the willingness to work with the rhythms of nature, not against them. And when spring finally comes, so what can we learn from all this? You don't need to live off the grid or own a buggy to grow like the Amish. But there's something to be said for the way they treat their land. It's not about gadgets or quick fixes. It's about patience, wisdom, consistency. When you respect the soil, it respects you back. If your garden's been struggling, maybe it's not the seeds. Maybe it's the system. Time to plant different. Maybe, just maybe, you've learned something today, something that'll stick. And when next winter comes, you'll be ready. You'll be prepared, because that's how the Amish do it. They don't wait for things to happen. They make them happen. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real secret.